is EnlightenmentANAVRIN, long time no see. A lot of crazy stuff happened, but I'm back now, just in time to be super late, I guess, for the release of the PlayStation Classic. So, I wanted there to be a Nintendo 64 Classic, as everyone wanted, because I think that would be super cool, even though it's like, they did the NES Classic, which was cartridge games, or originally was that console was cartridge games, just like the Super Nintendo. Why wouldn't they make a Nintendo 64? Well, Rich Review Tech USA had a pretty good analogy. Why would Nintendo need to make a Nintendo 64 Classic if they were only doing the NES and Super NES to bridge the gap in between the failure of the Wii U's sales and then to kind of help hype up the Nintendo Switch, which kind of sucks because the Nintendo Switch has an online store, but it's pretty much a better deal is what it looks like. I haven't actually paid for it. It's only 20 bucks a year, but I don't see the point when I already have both of the classic consoles. I did not buy a PlayStation Classic because everybody said it was a waste of money. It's like way too expensive. Some of the games that are on there run on the PAL versions from Europe, which are way slower, or the way they ported them over to the PlayStation Classic is slower. But this is what I posed that I think they should do if they do a Nintendo 64, even though they probably won't. I think, first of all, they should redo the controller and make it like the Hori design, where they chop off all the legs or whatever and just make it just up here. Yeah, that would make some of the hardcore fans mad, but this is not my favorite controller. Yes, it is the original, but still, I wouldn't want to do it like that. As you may know, I'm a giant fan of Shadow Man. I think with that super cult following of that horror game, of the people that like Resident Evil and games like that, I think if they brought Shadow Man on the Nintendo 64, it would work, because I don't think it's a very expensive license to buy compared to complications like Rare games, Rareware with the Banjo-Kazooie and the Conker's Bad Fur Day and the Donkey Kong 64, because Microsoft owns Rare. So I don't think any of those would be on there, because last I checked several years ago, you could purchase Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie on the Xbox Live on the Xbox 360, but I don't have an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One because I don't really like Xbox. Haters gonna hate, people in the comments. Well, Xbox is actually a really good console, but whatever. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I think, and then like the game that's playing in the background, even though it probably looks like crap, is Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, which is one of my favorite games of all time. It's based off of comics and a book and a toy line and all of that stuff. Takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, when Han's still in Carbonite. That's why Han's not in the game. But anyway, stuff like that, but that's Lucasfilm, so we don't know licensing on that. Everything's a licensing issue, because I don't know if any of that stuff's actually going to work because of Lucasfilm and Disney. The other dilemma on Nintendo 64 potential classic would be GoldenEye 007. Okay, that's made by Rare, which Microsoft owns, but it's a movie game. So like Universal or whoever the heck makes that, 20th Century Fox, I don't even know, the company that makes those movies, you'd have to get the licensing from them, and it probably wouldn't work on that. But there's still a lot of really cool games you could put on there, and it would have more exposure for the kids nowadays, I guess. You know, they're probably like, the graphics suck. And if they used ROMs, that would totally ruin it, because let's go back to Shadow Man knowledge. The PAL version of that game, specifically the German version, the dialogue's in German, the whole game's in German. It's actually really cool. I've watched bunch of cutscenes on it. There was in the 90s, just in the 90s, there was an issue with killing human people in games, with Mortal Kombat and the violence in games, so the government or whoever regulates the ESRB or whatever in Germany in the 90s made it to where in Shadow Man all the blood was green, and when you get to the part of the prison which has these humans, their heads blow up because they're possessed by like voodoo magic, and they attack you with guns and clubs and stuff because they're like riot guys, they're the prison inmates. In the German version, and only in the German version, they are unkillable, which makes the level extremely hard, and a lot of people that I've talked to online that have played that version of the game cannot even get past the prison stage and never got to beat the game as a kid or as a teenager or as an adult or whatever because of that issue. So they would have to definitely get the Americanized version of that. I don't think Shadow Man would be an issue because of the state of Acclaim and Valiant Comics currently right now, but other games on the Nintendo 64 that might have a variance in PAL version, it might also affect it. I don't even know why the PlayStation chose to do PAL and regular, because I'm not a giant Tekken fan, but I know Tekken's all about the timing and the precision and everything. Why would you want a slower version of the game? Even the commercial looks really cool with King in it, and he's fighting like dinosaurs from whatever the other game is, Dino Crisis or whatever the other game is on there. But why would you do that? So that's another reason it has a giant price cut. And at currently right now, this is January of 2019, first video, yay. Best Buy has like a whole bunch of PlayStation Classics just like spread out on the shelves to kind of like take up space, to kind of flex it out to make it look full. So they're not selling. They already had a price cut like a month or two ago. Target only has one or two in stock. I haven't seen them at Walmart, because every time I go there I'm like, whoa, look at these cool arcade machines and stuff, because they have those giant arcade machines. But I'm sure they're not ordering any more at Walmart, or they're just filler. So, what's your opinions on, should there be a Nintendo 64 Classic? I think there should. Kind of late to the game on this, I know. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I haven't had a chance to record or have any free time really at all. The only reason I'm recording this now is because they cut my hours at work. So, let me know in the comments. Please rate, subscribe. Happy New Year. This is my birthday month. My birthday is January 31st. Yay. And I'll see you guys later.